And so tonight, right now at least, I don't plan on doing a lesson. I just wanted to get on here and maybe interact with some of you instead of teaching tonight. The last lesson that we had was about pride. So if you've not seen that lesson, it's the last video. It should be the last video on my feed. But I wanted to come in because I had that live. I believe it was Saturday that I had the live. And then the next day, which was yesterday, I woke up to hear what happened in Jacksonville, Florida, right? And we were just talking about, racism and sexism and homophobia. And, I actually have not posted the whole live to YouTube yet, but I will, seriously, I will tonight, because you really should watch that video. The thumbnail on my YouTube should say pride, the biggest obstacle to self-love. And I think the video is probably about maybe 50 minutes. But I think it would be very informative for you to watch the live because of what happened on Sunday, in Jacksonville. Sometimes we forget that people are living amongst us who are narcissists, very arrogant, very boastful people, and the world that they see outside themselves only includes them. They have no compassion or empathy. They have no space to feel other people's feelings, and other people don't matter. Like, it boggles my mind that somebody could go and just harm somebody because of the hate in their heart. I mean, I understand why that happens, but you have to really do some inner work. That's what I always say to people. You really got to look within. You got to turn your focus within, because if you continue to just look outside of yourself and try to make sense of your world, it'll never happen, because there's so much chaos that's happening out in the world. I mean, I tell you, the thoughts in that guy's mind must have been a jumbled mess. And at some point, I think if you don't take care of yourself mentally, I believe you have what and I know this is going to be hard to explain, so I'm not going to go too deep in it, but you have what I believe, some people have walk-ins. Like when you're majorly depressed and you're like at rock bottom, or some people may call it dark night of the soul, and you let yourself become a portal, an easy entry, if you will, for other entities to jump inside of you. Some people call it possession. I do believe that a lot of these heinous crimes that people commit, not just the ones that we hear on TV, but the people that, like the Catholic Church, like all these priests that were operating in this organization that were abusing children, and they all knew what they were doing, and they all supported one another, and they were all sneaking in the dark doing it. And then they were, the priests that got caught, they were sending them to another, is it called parish? Sending them to another church to go on and do the thing there. It was like a organization, a secret organization of crime with pedophiles. And it blows my mind that people don't even talk about it today as if it didn't happen. It was happening for over 100 years. So I feel like when people do crimes like that, I feel like they have ceased to exist, if you will, or maybe they ceased to exist a long time ago, and they have something else operating within themselves, and maybe their true self is dormant. Something is going on, something demonic to me, something very, very, I have no better word than to say evil. When you habitually, systematically, intentionally harm children and animals and elderly people, right? When you have no compassion in your heart for other people, and you can just kill them, you can just make their life miserable because you can, right? There's something very anti-Christ about that. So Christ is light, God consciousness is light, life force, and when you operate against that, when you hate the light so much that the darkness is what you feed on, then you sold your soul. That's how I see it. Absolute. Can you expand a little bit more? I'm actually trying to interact with y'all today. That's why I'm not, doing a lesson. We're just talking, and I do get carried away in the lessons, but I do want to have conversations, find out where you people are at in your heads, where you're coming from. If you're behind the wall, feel free to come on in. Let's have a conversation. I'd love to hear your story, hear what you think. Why do you think people do what that guy did in Jacksonville, Florida, or what the guy did today at the UNC? I mean, do you ever get that angry to where you just want to go grab a poo-poo? You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know if I can say it on TikTok, but I mean, shouldn't your emotions, I guess if you were emotionally mature, you would be able to regulate your emotions and not to let your hate and your anger get the best of you. All right, yeah, so it says encourage your viewers to share your live and invite more friends. So, yeah, hey, do me a favor, share this live. I'm sure there are people out there who want to hear this, want to have this conversation right now. Make sure you like the live so that maybe it will be pushed out. So I've got one person in here with some kind of icon. I don't know. It's a purple. I love purple, by the way. It's one of my favorite colors. For those outside of the wall, if you have a question for me, jump on in. Later on this week, because I have a pretty easy week at work, so I should be able to do a few more lives this week. That's why I'm on here now. We're going to do some, well, I don't want to spoil it, but I got a surprise for all these people that, you people, some of you are return visitors, others are new. My name is Felicia. If you haven't followed me, please follow me, because I give away a lot of free advice, and maybe some of it will resonate with you. Maybe some won't, but I do want to have the conversation together here. This is all about talking about things that matter in our lives. Some of us, we don't have really a lot of people to talk to. Maybe some of you work from home. Maybe some of you just don't, communicate with people that you work with. Or maybe you're a loner. I don't know. I love spending time by myself, so I don't really consider myself a loner. I love people. I love interacting with people, and I'll talk your ear off, but I enjoy my alone time. It keeps me grounded, and I'm able to replenish my energy. You know what I'm saying? And then when I do that, I can give more to the world. But you always need time to ground yourself and to spend time with yourself so that you get that spiritual energy back. Because, when you're always giving, as I am in the healthcare industry, always giving of yourself and other people, you have to make time to give to yourself, So, yeah, and if you're a mom, I always say, because I do have acquaintances or associates who are mothers and, wives, and when you're constantly giving to your family, you're giving everything you have, and you leave no time for yourself. You leave no time for those baths at night with candles and incense for yourself, or just time to read a book, or time to meditate by yourself, or time to just breathe. You don't end up in a great place, especially when people, the children and your husband are always coming to you needing something, and you're always having to give. It's very, very important to give to yourself, because if you take care of yourself, then you can help take care of those around you. And unfortunately, women are the ones who are taking care of everybody. People, and let me just tell you, I know I have a secret, right? A lot of people always say, because I know I have a little bit of a filter on. My eyes look a little bit bloodshot. I think that maybe that's because I have a lot of allergies. I don't know. I'm not really tired, but I have been up for a while today, and it's 7:38 Eastern time here in Tennessee. But I'll be 56 here in I think a couple of months almost, right? And I know I don't look close to 60, and people are always like, "Oh my God, you look like you're in your 30s." I do believe that a big reason why, or I always tell people, my secret is sleep and water, spring water, not tap water, but definitely get your sleep in, because I think a lot of people don't sleep enough. So you have to get your rest in, y'all, because the body needs to rest, and that's another way to rejuvenate. One thing I hate is to be tired, or hungry. So you need your rest. But I believe one of the biggest secrets to why I look so young is because here it is, and I'm not faulting anybody for going down a different path. But I never got married. I never had some man stealing my energy all the time, or sucking the life out of me, or bossing me around, telling me what I should think, what I should do, how I should dress, how I should act, how I should talk. I never had anybody really do that. And I've always, if a relationship didn't work out, I was out the door, right? Because I value my freedom and my independence and my authenticity. And I cannot stand someone trying to control who I am as a person, right? So I didn't have all that mental and emotional stress in my life. Also, I didn't have children. I knew early on, growing up, I didn't want to have children. I love children. I think they're awesome. A lot of them are little beautiful angels. I love them like I do animals, but it wasn't for me. I wanted to live this lifetime, totally solo, without children. So I think when you have children and when you're married, specifically to a man, you endure a lot of stress. I mean, you're taking on a whole different kind of beast. Because so much is put on women, so much, and I mean you're going out and you're working, you're coming home and you're cooking, you're coming home and you're cleaning, you're sometimes taking the children to school, the kid gets sick, it's up to you to take care of that. Your husband pretty much just goes to work and he comes home and he probably plays video games and maybe watches sports, and the only really activity that he seems to be involved in at home. This is not all men, so don't kill me. I mean, don't be mad at me. Don't think I'm a male hater, but I know the stories. I hear them all the time. But a lot of times, I think men don't put their weight in their families, and women maybe don't feel like they need to ask. Why ask if he's not going to offer? So I think a lot of women tend to get weighed down mentally, emotionally, and physically, and over time, that weighs on you, and you start to look stressful. So I think my secret would be definitely getting my rest, my meditation, being true to who I am. I don't have the stress of trying to keep up personas or keep, act like somebody else or cover myself and make sure people see me a certain way. I'm kind of like, I think that is where my true age comes in, because a lot of the stuff that I may have been concerned with when I was younger, I'm not now. I know that worrying about what somebody thinks about you is a waste of your energy and your time, and it's fruitless, because you cannot control someone's thoughts. I mean, you can try to manipulate someone else to think a certain way about you, but where does that get you in the end of the day? If you're really not that type of person, right? Why would you want somebody in your life who doesn't really know who you are and who doesn't really support who you are? So a lot of these things, if you started to work on and you started to, have a difference of opinion or a different mindset, you'd be like, damn, I'm wasting a lot of my energy. I'm spoiling a lot of my beautiful day concerned about something outside of myself that I cannot control, right? There's really only one thing you can control is yourself, your response to outside stimuli or outside events. It doesn't serve you well to try to control other people or what other people think or how other people believe. But it's only, you can control yourself. And so when you center yourself and you get yourself right and you get yourself in alignment, then naturally you will attract that type of frequency and vibration in your life. So yeah, anybody understand that? Have any thoughts on that? Let's see here. I don't invite anybody to go live. Thank you, Queen, for liking the live. I don't invite lives. I probably won't do that for a while because I've got an agenda here. Queen says hospice nurse, mother of 4. Wow. All right, so hey, chime in, Queen. I mean, are you married? You got are any of your children above the age of 18? Like, do you find yourself doing like everything Like, do you have any time for yourself? You know? I mean, I don't have children. I can imagine if I had to come home. Hell, I could barely come home and do a TikTok because I'm so tired, you know? I mean, I could take a shower. I sit down and maybe watch 30 minutes of the news, try to play my little games on my phone, you know, for maybe 40 minutes. I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed and then get up and do it all over again. I can imagine having toddlers or 2 or 3 children. Some of the women I work with, you know, they got to pay for childcare too. And then, you know, it's like their money is almost gone before they go home to pay the babysitter. Let me see here. What does it say here? Otherwise known as non-normal. I think that's your username, but yeah. I mean, you know what's really sad though is you know, you could have anybody could have the life they really want, richly desire. But so many people get sucked into the fantasy, the dream that's been fed to them. You know, that whole grow up. You know, I do agree that we all should go to school and be educated. But do we need to pay $50,000 to go to university? No, so that we could be in debt and then get a job that we're probably is not even going to be in the field that we studied in, just to, you know, have to pay off these loans forever. And don't even talk about the credit cards that they roam around on campus with, trying to get you to get, which many of us do, right? Which has a high interest rate because we have no credit. So we start out in debt, and then we realize we got this degree in a job that we don't even fucking like. So for women, well, you know, at some point, it's always in the back of our minds, you know, marriage. We gotta find the guy. Because in our society, it has been programmed, we've been conditioned to believe that we need a guy. We need a guy, and that fulfills us. We need to be married. We need that wedding day. We need to have that honeymoon, fall in love, have children, right? Husband, he gets the job, goes out, does the work in, come home, you know, with the bacon, and we do the dishes, take care of the kids, be the one who, you know, sleeps with him, and life is great. It's gravy, right? Nope, doesn't work like that. That's a fairy tale. That's like the whole Barbie thing, you know. I mean, it's all like a dream. It's all like a made-up fantasy shit. You know, the fun part about all of this is when you realize that it's just it's somebody else's idea of what life should be for you. When you realize that, you're like, oh shit, I can create my own reality. Let me go live in a camper and travel the world, or let me become a flight attendant and travel like internationally, and like maybe become a traveling nurse or whatever, and travel and meet all kinds of people. I've done a lot of different things in my life, so I wasn't ever stuck in one way of being, and I still am not. I'm always trying to create a new career, but because it's my choice, I get to decide what I want to do. And when everything is not associated with money, you know, like, or with your image, because you want other people to see you a certain way, then you have a bigger world by which you can live, because you're not concerned with other people's ideas of you, and you're not concerned with creating this whole story that has been, you know, hammered down your I was gonna say throat, but that's been put in your head repeatedly through media, your parents, the preachers, peers, and so forth, through books, movies. You don't come out. You don't. If not, it doesn't serve you well to look for somebody else to complete you when you're already complete within. The thing that will serve you well is to uncover that completeness within yourself. And then when you actually meet someone to share that your wholeness with their wholeness. But if you're a whole person, you're not gonna wanna be with somebody who doesn't bring wholeness to the table. Because then they're not gonna be vibrating on your same level, your same frequency. So that's how you keep toxic relationships at bay, because you will attract to you where you are. People that look good, remember to you, that you fell in love with, quote unquote, 10 years ago, and you think about that relationship today, and you're like, what the hell was I thinking of? It's probably because you elevated. You elevated, and you realize that you're not the same person you were then, and you're no longer attracted to where you were then, right? So, anyways, but I just wanted to chat about that. I wanted to make a comment about the shooting. I do hope you go watch my last video, and again, I will post the full video on YouTube here in a minute, and once I charge my phone. But I think racism should be in that book. I mean, literally, it should be called Racism. This book here. This is an interview guide for evaluating psychiatric disorders and mental status in the DSM-4. I think there's a 5 out. I don't have that book. I don't recall. I don't think I have that book. But I think racism is a mental dis-ease, is a spiritual sickness. And it's because of what we've been talking about. We live in a society that is run primarily by these colored males. And a lot of them are busy making money, living outside of themselves. And a lot of the people that try to tell us how to live and how to think believe that one race is superior to all the others. Well, that right there is what feeds into these young people's minds. And as they grow up over time, they're offsprings of their own generation. And I believe that there's DNA still from generational trauma, things that happened in the past, of what their ancestors did to us, and as well as generational trauma with what my ancestors felt because of what was done to them. And you can only go so long without healing. You got an open wound, and it's toxic. That's why I call this society toxic. It's our toxic family. And we are bleeding all over the fucking place because nobody is getting healing. People are just living outside themselves, just like sheep, doing, saying, believing, acting what was taught them. The only way to clean out that wound is to, I tell you, I will keep singing this, is to go within, to look within yourself, get quiet. That's why it's so important to get time alone, whether you have family or not. Spend time, get still, get quiet, and just try to just slow down that monkey brain of yours. You can do it. I know I did it. It'll take a minute, but oh my God, it's so worth it. Get a journal if you got a lot of thoughts going down. I started by getting a journal and writing down what was going on in my head, getting it out in paper, just writing it, freestyle. Not judging it, just writing it. I was angry, I was upset, I was hurt when I was 25. I was low vibrational energy. That's where I was. And I just started writing all that stuff down. I don't know how many books I went through. Then also, I had books that I would start getting at the library. And I was picking up these like books that just resonated with me at the time. Abraham Maslow, The Hierarchy of Needs. I remember getting that one. I remember reading a ton of Dwayne Dyer books. The Erroneous Zone. I read a ton of his. Richard Bach. I remember reading Illusions and The Celestine Prophecy. I even got like, what was it? I even read some kind of religious books. Was it, what's his name? What was that book called? The Road Less Traveled by Dr. Scott Peck. I remember reading that one. That was a good book, spoke to me. I just started collecting and reading books. And so I didn't know at the time, but what I was doing was I was updating my software, right? My mindset. So I was cleaning it out by writing all the shit, the shitty feelings, the shitty thoughts that I was having inside. Getting all that down, and I wasn't judging it. Just, this is the monkey mind, the monkey brain going. I was getting all that stuff down. And then over time, because I guess getting it out of me and getting it on paper, it put it somewhere, right? And then I started reading like this material that I'm talking about, and started focusing on that, concentrating on that, thinking a different way than I had been thinking. So had I not started the reading this new information, getting this new data, I probably would not have anything to replace what I was getting rid of, right? And then all of this I was doing was spending a lot of quiet time, just sitting there. I would spend like 8 hours a day whenever I was off work at the coffee house. Had these big, huge bay windows, and the sun would come in. I would just sit there and I would think, and I would just be quiet, and I would just, just be alone in my thoughts. I got so good at this that this even works today. I got so good at this that I could be in a crowded place on my computer or with a book, and it could be loud as hell in that place, and I could tune everybody out. Like, I literally just, it's so easy for me now. I could be on a walk. It's so easy for me now to just, I can meditate while, like, in a room full of, I don't know, like almost anywhere. That's how good I got at being able to focus and turn within. So yeah, many years went by, and thank God for those early years because of my spiritual journey. Because I went through right after I turned 30, I went through the dark night of the soul where I met the devil. I can officially say that was the first time that I knew I met the devil. And I know for me, had I not had this inner journey before that I would have completely lost it, because when you're facing something that you have never had anything to, that you never even knew or had anything to, I don't know how to say this. When you're facing an experience that experience, when it happens, it cuts you so deeply that your world becomes one before the experience and one after the experience. When you have that, that's a traumatic experience, and unless you have some type of intervention to deal with that, it can really it could break you so bad, or it can destroy you. But I believe if everything was meant to happen in the way that it did, and I owe my recovery, I owe my ability to handle that situation and others after that to having had the spiritual awakening before all of this. Because again, that right there, God, being within inside of me, knowing that I have a relationship with my Creator, with Source, was able to guide me and comfort me, and to let me know that I was fine, that I'm fine, and that the experiences that we have on this in this world is part of living. It's part of living in a in a 3D, third dimensional reality where people are still asleep, essentially. People are living in the dark. People are afraid of the light. And a lot of people, they act in accordance with where their heart and their head is, right? And I understand that a lot of people are willing to do the work of discovering self, which is God, which is love, which is light, which is life force, but are very comfortable where they are because it's a place that they know. A lot of people are very uncomfortable venturing outside of the comfort zone into the unknown because it's so scary. And so eventually they self-destruct like the guy did in Jacksonville, Florida, or the guy did today at the UNC, or that these Catholic priests did for many, many years. No inner work. At the Southern Baptist Convention, and all these stories, all the human trafficking, all these horrible, horrible things in the society because of unhealed people. And then we have a lot of people that just stand on the sidelines and they are gatekeepers to it and they let it happen. And they just, as long as everybody just keep their mouth quiet, then we can all just mosey along through our day pretending to live the dream, the American dream, right? Why people are hurting and dying and, but again, spiritually, that's a part of the process, right? Because I don't believe in death. I think the body ceases to exist, maybe your personality, but your spirit carries on. We're here to learn lessons. And nothing love is really the only real, like, seriously, the only true thing that exists. It's not an illusion. It's not a fantasy. It's not fiction. Love is a powerful, powerful energy source. It is the life force of everything good in your life. It is Christ consciousness, if you will. Everything opposite of that is the Antichrist. Right? It is selling your soul. When you shut up and you do nothing in the face of horrible things around you, when you think that keeping a secret when others are, and I'm guilty of this, when others are being exploited, exposed, hurt in ways that, that defies the mind, when you do nothing, it's not just Hollywood celebrities. We all can sell our soul moment by moment, day by day, week by week, year by year, when we choose to not stand up for truth, when we choose to not be authentically who we are, when we choose to allow those people that are harming innocent and good people in our society, when we continue and we choose to let them continue on their behavior, we think we have nothing, we have nothing to do with it when we do. We all do. We all have a price to pay because we're all energetically connected. And what one person does to another, it reverberates out into our society. So you owe it to yourself to expand your mindset, to get rid of the toxic thinking and the toxic behavior that doesn't serve you. And not only does it change your world, but it changes the world around you and those people around you. Your spirit influence. The only way you're going to find peace in your life and to welcome the fruits of the spirit, love, joy, patience, peace, kindness, compassion, those real things, is to give up the lie, unlearn the lies, unlearn the conditioning. Know that you're not your race and that your race is not superior. Know that you have no ties to money. Money doesn't make you or break you. Your job title, whatever you are, that is not who you are. You're not your body. You're not the things in the 3D. You're spirit being. You're part of everything that is and always has been. You're powerful beyond what you think. You're not your traumas. You might be a mom. You might be a wife. You might be queer. This is how you're manifesting in the 3D, but those things are not who you are. You're much deeper than that. Much deeper. But you can only see that when you take your focus off of the 3D that's out there and turn it in here with that silence. And I'm going to tell you, because I've been there, it will take you to worlds that you can only imagine. No man can feed you that type of reality because they don't know it. And they don't want you to know it either because that's your power. You can do anything with this. You can stop hurting with this. You can stop judging other people with this. You can stop thinking you're superior than other people with this power, with this knowledge that you will uncover when you go within. You don't need to be better than anybody else because you're already whole the way you are. You've just got to open that up and let it flow through you. Anyway, I don't think anybody said anything, had any questions or any wanted to, add on to this. But there's a ton of people that join, probably more behind the wall. But, I just want to say before I get out of here because I'm going to go eat, that I always appreciate you being here. And always just try to let the Spirit speak through me, I like to be a conduit, if I said that right. The middle person, by which a messenger, if you will, by where Spirit can speak through me. And that there's someone out there in Vermont or Washington State or California or even here in Tennessee that'll be like, oh shit, yeah, this is resonant. I feel this. This is really what I needed to hear right now because I'm in a bad place, or I'm feeling sad or anxious or lonely or depressed. It's all energy. We're energy. You want to raise your energy, then change your thoughts, change your mindset. A lot of times it's what we're thinking that constitute what we feel, and what we feel comes out in what we do. You see it all day long, every day, all over the place. So we need to change your mind, change your thoughts. Just because you're having thoughts doesn't mean that they're correct and that you are your thoughts. But you're the creator of your life. You can change your thoughts that don't serve you well. If they don't serve you well, they're not life-giving, life-producing, life-encouraging thoughts. If they're tearing you down, making you feel heavy, alone, sad, and afraid, turn within. Let God speak to you. God is right there in your heart. And then the more you do this, the more your single eye, was it Matthew 6:22? I think, I'm not religious, but I think if that eye be single, the whole body will fill with light. So it's talking about the pineal gland. When it's activated, your life changes, your world changes. That is life. Anything less than that, you're just surviving. You're just going through this. It's dull living. It's not exciting. When the eye be single, the whole body fills with light. That's Christ. That's Christ consciousness. That's the awareness of God and of your power because you're a part of God. Yeah, you're beautiful, my friend. Never forget it. Never forget it. Don't let anybody tell you differently. You got this. Just remember, turn that focus from out there. Because if you're focused out there, that's the upside down world. Turn it inside so that you can see right side up. You're going to see things a whole fucking lot different than is what's been taught to you. All right? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, to my Felicia Talk. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the likes. Yeah, thank you. 842 likes. I appreciate you much. Trust me, I do. As I said, this week, I think probably Friday, I got a surprise. I'm waiting for it to get in the mail. It's going to be completely different than what I normally do, but I think it's going to be so fun. And I bet you that you're going to be engaged with me. I'm going to have a lot of people talking back to me because of what I'm about to bring to the table. But it's going to be something that's going to assist you, that's going to help you, and that I think you're going to want to play. You're going to want to get involved because this is a fun activity. And I'm excited to bring this to my TikTok and some more things here to come. So thank you all. Thank you for actually giving me your space, giving me your time. That means a lot to me. So I will see you in the next live. I might do one before Friday, but Friday is the real kicker deal here. But I'll have my little stuff with me. Until then, you, the young lady with the red top on and the long brown hair, I don't know your name. I don't know, but I want to thank you because you've been here pretty much the whole life. So I appreciate you. I can't. I don't think you're my follower that's always comment on my videos, but if you are, thank you. But thank you all, everyone. Have a great night, and I will see you on the next live. Until then.